All right, folks, gonna do an installation here. I've got my 8500G Ryzen 5 8500G CPU. We're gonna put it into this motherboard. Now, this is a A620 Gaming X. Probably one of the cheaper motherboards that you can get, but that's okay for what processor we're putting in here. Now, anybody familiar with Intel installations? Um, Obviously, AM5 is similar, but not totally similar. A lot of things you're going to see different when you do this install. If you buy a motherboard used, um, see this plastic cover here? If you're not lucky, the person will put this on upside down. Let's see if I can get it to snap in. There you go. They'll put this in upside down, and that's going to actually confuse you on the installation. All right. Why is that? There's a triangle here, a black triangle. There's a triangle here on your motherboard, okay? Just to note that this triangle should be on the side of your I/O input output stuff, okay? There should not be a triangle on the side that has the RAM. That is opposite of what you'll see from Intel, right? So uh, let's get started. All right. Now we have our CPU. It's a Virgin CPU, never been installed, as well as this CPU cooler from AMD. That actually comes installed with thermal paste. Now, if you bought this used, folks, you will end up putting thermal paste on the CPU. We're not going to show that in this video because I've already got it on that. All right, I'm going to do this upside down. That's how confident I am in myself. Now, in here, you get a little sticker along with your CPU. Now, one thing, folks, this is the weakest of the 8000 CPUs, right? And maybe not as beneficial for upgrades as the 8600G or the 8700G. And FPS, not going to be quite as good either. All right, so that popped out. But for me, I make a lot of different videos to include CPU cooler installations, and I just needed to get another AM5 chip. All right, so another thing to note, folks, just like Intel on this version, on the AM5s, AM4 is a different story. Your Intel chips, read from left to right. So if your I/O shield is here and your RAM is here, this reads from left to right, AMD Ryzen, right? So, this is not what I'm talking about, okay? That's reading upside down, backwards, whatever. All right, so on here is the golden triangle, okay? Is there one on the bottom? There's also one on the bottom, folks. See that golden triangle right there? Okay. Triangle. Triangle is closest to the A in AMD, all right? So we're going to pop this lever open. Now, if you have a new motherboard, should be no issues with it. This one was used. It probably had some, who knows, could have bent pins. One thing that happens a lot is a lot of motherboards get wrecked by people because of, not knowing what they're doing, right? So it's important. All right, so we're going to drop this in gently, okay? And if you can use two hands, even better. If you have electric static, equipment to protect that. CPU, even better. Try not to get, your oils all over your fingers on it. What I'm doing though here is double checking to see this is flush all the way around. All right, it's good. Now, drop this down, and this black cover is going to pop off. Boom. Now we're good. Put this in your box. All right, folks. Make sure that's in your box. Now, I almost feel like we're in a bad angle here on this one camera. All right. So, easy day so far. All right. Now time for our CPU cooler. This can go in only in one way. And oh, by the way, I think this is the case on all these motherboards. This backing plate is pretty much fixed, so whatever install you have will incorporate that. Now, our CPU fan header is right here. A lot of motherboards, it's could be in a bunch of different spots, but it's usually in the vicinity of this. Usually 90 degrees to this, but there it is right there. All right. I'm going to go ahead and plug this in because that's going to help us determine the direction that I want to go with this. So can I get this to wrap around and tie up that loose cable? No, I can't. All right. Can I go back this way? Yes, I can. But I'm not going to be able to, wrap all the way around again. So you're going to need a cable tie. Now, why AMD made the cable so long, I don't know. Once again, CPU cooler has thermal paste on it, right? So if you bought this used, you're probably not going to have thermal paste. You would actually have to put thermal paste on the CPU. All right, we'll do that in a different video. But so we need to line this up with the threaded posts, and then I'm just going to try and get one thread on each one of these, a couple threads, whatever. I'm going diagonally, and I'm going across. Now, are we actually screwing in? No, we're not. We're totally missing it, folks. This is where you go, well, geez, are you freaking blind, dude? Yeah, I am. So let's get a little extra light in there. All right, this might help. Now, if you need reading glasses, good opportunity to put those on. So this light is freaking bright. I've got one. Okay, so I have one thread in this back corner. I really need to get this one in. All right, and it just does not want to freaking go in. Now, this isn't an uncommon thing, folks. Trust me, a lot of heartache trying to get CPU coolers in. Okay, so now we have the two diagonal ones. We actually have it in there. I can guarantee you number 3's in. And they're all 4 in. All right, so now we'll go back to the first one. And by doing this, we're getting the face of our CPU cooler and the face of the CPU, trying to keep them somewhat parallel to each other as this comes down and spreads the thermal paste across there. Now, if you decide to upgrade, let's change subjects here a second while I'm doing this. If you decide to upgrade your CPU cooler, you would have put RAM in potentially before what I'm doing here, okay? Keep that in mind. If you have a bigger CPU cooler, you might end up blocking your RAM spot. In this case, we can easily get a RAM in here. Or can we? So this thing's sticking out. So guess what? This can go on only one way, folks. Fuck. Are you kidding me? So all that work for nothing. On this motherboard, and potentially others, you have to put the CPU cooler on in a certain direction. All right. So lesson learned. And hopefully I'll edit this. All right. All right, folks. So we had to do a little edit. Hopefully it came out right. Now I was trying to show, hey, if I want to have this cable wrapped up nice and tight, I just unfortunately can't do it. One thing that we failed to note originally was this thing's going to get in the way of your RAM. So you have no choice but to put it on here like this, all right? So this is the orientation. Now you have clear access to all 4 RAM slots, all right? So now we can get a couple threads on that one, get a couple threads on that one. Let's just make sure that we're on there, good. Now we'll try and get a couple threads on this one. That one's on. A couple threads on this one. And when it's making that kind of noise, you know you're in there. So now we're gonna crank this thing. And I'm, trying to get this thing to spread evenly, that thermal paste evenly across. And unfortunately, I'm going to have to do some edits, but make this video work out better. But that's the way it goes, folks. The good news is, now I know. I think in my other videos, that wasn't a problem with AMD. In this case, it is a problem. The way this is oriented, it can go in only one way if you want to use all 4 RAM slots. All right, so that's in, folks. We would use a cable tie to do something with this cable so it's out of the way. And that's it. Thanks for checking out the video. Please like, please subscribe.